Because rasas, as I said, are not emotions. There is simply no direct translation of the word rasas in English. Emotions is translated as bhava, no? Moods, emotions. Rasas are essences in a number of ways. Rasas are essences, first of all, on the level of the body molecules. The blood plasma is also named rasa. The watery liquid which carries our blood cells, you know, white blood cells, red blood cells, is named rasa. And in that liquid you find all the nutrients that the body has been accumulating. And you also find, these days they are called neurotransmitters. Many neurotransmitters. And that's a little bit of Western science which is helpful here, because it makes it very concrete to us. And Western science is so very convincing, you know. So, what are neurotransmitters? Our brain and our nerves work with electrical signals. And these signals go from one nerve cell to the other to thin threads, you know. But where those two threads meet, there is a gap. And in that gap is a watery liquid, cerebrospinal fluid. And in that liquid are molecules that help the electric current to go from one side to the other. So our thinking is not only purely electrical. It is really electro-biochemical. And the biochemical effect very much involves the emotions. When somebody is in one particular emotional state, he will more easily make a particular thought pattern than when he is in another emotional state. That difference comes through these information molecules, they also call these neurotransmitters. So they are in our blood, and on a physical level, they are quite clearly the most related to the rasas. Then there is the energy level in the body, you know, the subtle body, where also these rasas play a major role. And that is a part where modern science, you know, is not really advancing that much. But according to ancient Indian science, rasas are energies. Primarily, they are energies. And it is these energies that also, for example, make that emotions are so infectious. One person laughs, other people start laughing. One person gets angry, everybody gets like kind of tense. It's because their energy is really going quite beyond the physical body. And it's interesting to know this, because that also means when you are faced with a big problem, that is, for example, causing a lot of anger, then you can also work through the body. You do not only have to play this like mental game. You can also work through the body, and in that case it is, for example, a very good advice, just drink 3 glasses of water. That should more or less do it. And if it doesn't, drink some more. That will do it. And that is because of the relationship between the rasas and the elements. I think most of you will know the earth element, water, fire element. I don't think I have to explain that. Well, each rasa is related to a particular element. Most rasas, or actually all rasas, directly relate to the water element. They happen on the 2nd chakra level. That there are some exceptions. Joy, wonder and anger, they relate also to the fire element. Water is also involved, but fire is also involved. And in calmness and in fear, the air element also becomes dominant. In fear, it creates the very rapid thinking that is so typical for worrying through vata. In calmness, the calmness comes through pure prana, or purification through prana. So in that way the air element plays an important role. So anger is fire. You have a fire problem, add some water, right? Cool down. And that really helps. I mean, I've been through a divorce while doing anger sadhana. I can imagine, or you can imagine, you know, that wasn't easy. I drank so much water, you know, in those days, and it really helped. You know, you'd still not agree.
You washed your divorce away.
Yeah, you know, you still not agree, but it become a little easier to manage.
Yeah.
And you would not say things you afterwards regret and which only fire the anger of the other person. No? So in that way, all rasas that relate to fire can be treated with cooling elements like also cardamom seeds, yogurt, a number of things. You find that in the book. Likewise, you can treat problems with the water element, mostly pollution of the water element, which for example then brings disgust. No? You go from constipation to pollution of the blood, you go to disgust. So the feeling of disgust, of dissatisfaction, of feeling, oh, I'm really not in a good shape today, also can come through your biochemistry, and by purification of biochemistry, you can also get rid of it. And if you have it for, a long period of time without any clear reason for it, in your life, then definitely you have to go through some purification because there's a problem with the blood chemistry. In case of fear, where you have an excess of vata element, eat some ginger, eat some fire, and the air will be expanding and getting out of the body. It's a very efficient method. Whenever you're feeling very worried about something, take a piece of ginger like this much, eat it. You can drink a little water afterwards to, solve the throat problem. But I'll assure you, your fears, your worries will be much less and you'll have much more confidence to deal with it. And of course, these rasas also relate to the gunas. Rajas, sattvas, tamas, we also don't have to explain. No? Sattvic emotions are very light. No? Rajasic emotions are very active. Tamasic emotions are very dull and ignorant and creating lots of problems. And well, I guess each rasa can have all three, no? All three of these elements, but they mostly belong to one or the other. And the only one which is truly sattvic is calmness, shanti, peace. It's the only one. But love can of course also be brought from a more active level where it usually happens, rajas, to a more sattvic level, no? In devotion. No? And in other ways also. So in that way, working with rajas, sattvas, tamas is very important to have more pleasant emotions, because tamasic food, tamasic activities will automatically create, the related negative emotions, and especially disgust, but also fear. The rajasic foods will stop you from becoming more sattvic. But of course, if you need to do a lot in a day, to be active, you will need them. And you will burn them, and then at the end of the day, they will be gone, and you will be all right.